Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to my presentation today. Before starting our presentation today, it's me introduce myself. I'm Fisali Lamsa. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today I would like to listen about coronavirus impact to economic sector in Indonesia. COVID-19 is a new type of disease caused by a virus from the coronavirus class, namely SARS-CoV-2, which is also often called the coronavirus. The first case of this disease occurred in the city of Wuhan, China, at the end of December 2019. After that, COVID-19 spread between people very quickly and spread to dozens of countries, including Indonesia, in just a few months. Its rapid spread has led several countries to implement policies to impose lockdown to prevent the spread of the coronavirus in Indonesia. The government has implemented a large-scale social restriction policy to suppress the spread of this virus. Risk factor for COVID-19. COVID-19 can infect anyone, but the effect will be more dangerous or even fatal if it attacks the elderly, pregnant women, smokers, sufferers of certain disease, and people whose immune system are weak, such and cancer sufferers, because it is easily transmitted. This disease is also outbreak risk of affecting medical personnel who treat COVID-19 patients. Therefore, medical personnel and people who come into contact with COVID-19 patients need to use personal protective equipment. In addition, the government, together with pharmaceutical companies and various health institutions, are currently developing and researching a COVID-19 vaccine. After going through clinical trials and being declared effective and safe for humans, the manufacture of the COVID-19 vaccine will be continued so that it can be given to the public. The impact of the coronavirus on Indonesian economy. The impact of the coronavirus on the Indonesian economy is also not small. Then what is the impact of the coronavirus on industry in Indonesia? We discuss each industry. The impact of the coronavirus on the economy of MSME, micro, small and medium enterprise, is very real. Reported by BBC Indonesia, and this was confirmed by the chairman of the Indonesia MSME Association himself, namely Iksan Ingatubun. The physical distancing recommendation issued by the Indonesian government keeps people at home and not going out to carry out their usual activities. One of the activities that has disappeared from the routine is not shopping outside the home through existing MSME. Because of this, MSME have difficulty paying existing costs. This includes salaries and salaries for workers, as well as other operational and non-operational costs. This is a bad impact because these workers can make money. They are forced to return to their hometowns and have no other choice. The reason is they do not have enough income to live in overseas place. Like it or not, coming home is the thing that must be done to survive. What are the other impact of the recommended physical distancing? Of course, we are not traveling and traveling. Travel agencies, hotel, transportation, tour guides, and restaurants have also been affected by the coronavirus. Not only for you as a local tourist, The drop in the number of foreign tourists is also something that cannot be avoided. Workers have also been affected by the coronavirus for the tourism economy and will need a way to make money from home during the outbreak. This happens because of a pattern similar to the sluggishness of the MSME industry. Reports by Lieutenant World Travel and Tourism Council predicts that there will be 75 million travel and tourism industry workers who could lose their job. Manufacturing. Approaching Ramadan, the manufacturing world normally boosts industry to increase public demand. Unfortunately, because the corona came, manufacturers could not do that. Reporting from Katadata, the impact of the coronavirus on the economy has forced manufacturing companies to reduce their production. There are daily employees who are asked to take turn off, so that their income is reduced by half, if really laid off. The company must also calculate the severance pay. Daily employees are also threatened with losing their job and end up being forced to run to their hometown or find another job. Due to the reduced processing, imports of raw material have also decreased. In addition, the final product of the manufacturing process will also experience a decline in exports due to lower demand from abroad. Overcome the economy in the midst of a pandemic. It takes coordination from rich countries to help this problem. So far, there have been significant progress toward funding assistance. But to overcome the health crisis in poor countries, there has been no significant progress. In terms of funding, developing countries have cut out fiscal expense by seeking additional new loans to support economic growth before the pandemic, so that countries such as Argentina and Lebanon have experienced the debt repayment crisis. And there are still many developing countries that are already burdened by debt too, so that they are risk to obtain additional external loans. To solve this problem, the G20 has urged as many as 70 developing countries not to make bilateral debt payment by the end of 2020. And private creditors are encouraged to take the same step. At the same time, the International Monetary Fund has cancelled payment for 6 months for the 25 countries whose debt actually have to be paid. In addition, the IMF provides additional funds for immediate distribution. Meanwhile, the World Bank and the Regional Development Bank have committed to increase loan-level funding. The world, in essence, needs better mechanisms to deal with the public debt for developing countries, but that is still to come. During the crisis, there was a proposal to freeze debt and interest installment payment through IMF facilities. This measure is urgently needed by developing countries to profit. The pressures need to limit the spread of the coronavirus and prevent deeper humanitarian catastrophe. Good cost and effective coordination to support fragile public health system is also urgently needed today. According to historical records, the United States and the top of from World Health Organization have taken the lead in overcoming epidemics such as the 2040 to 2060 Ebola outbreak in West Africa. But under US President Donald Trump, the US relinquished its role as a global leader and is waking up political war on WHO, and has even frozen funding for WHO. China responded by increasing funding for WHO by US $2 billion. Observing these developments, the need for resources to tackle the COVID-19 pandemic exceeds the available funds, because it requires health care assistance to be allocated as efficiently as possible to be effective. It can only be done with careful coordination. If poor countries are allowed to depend on bilateral assistance, then some countries receive more than it and others will not get it. Thus we can conclude that helping poor countries is not only the right decision, but it is also the only way to overcome the COVID-19 pandemic. We need WHO and us leadership no more than ever. Its countries must immediately provide the maximum possible resource assistance to poor country, whose allocation through WHO is based on the assistance needs of poor countries. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today I would like to present about coronavirus impact to economic sector in Indonesia. From our discussion, I have studied include the COVID-19 pandemic in addition to being a global health problem, also has implications on the economy in Indonesia. Indonesia potentially grows negative 0.4%, which is the worst case scenario. The economic sector most affected by COVID-19, the household sector. Thank you very much for your great attention, ladies and gentlemen. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.